Back on Mappamonte, this is Joe Lissette, getting ready to get our second quarterfinal match underway here real shortly. So you just watched Darren Shahinian get taken down by Grant Wozniak, who was playing the Grixis Delver, it's
Grixis
Grixis
Shadow.
Shadow deck,
Yeah.
and he played, it was a tight matchup, and we saw kind of how the picks and bans of the format kind of
Mhm.
influenced that
Yeah.
matchup. So
And it was close. It
yeah, it
was it
was.
was close. Maybe came down to a couple decisions players made. Game one, Darren, not. I mean, what your top eight of a reasonably important event
Yeah,
here for these guys, and game one of your top eight, and you don't play land on turn one.
yeah,
That's
rough.
or I think turn two.
I
Maybe
think he
he
hit, but I'm
hit
not
on
sure
turn
yet.
two, and then missed. Yeah, it was. I mean, not what you're looking for, not what you're dreaming about,
Right.
but still he played it out, and I mean, game two came down to a point or a card.
Yeah, single
Yeah.
point. It was 1-1, and then ended up crossing the finish line there for Grant. So the way the format works, if you're just tuning in here, you want to learn how it works a little bit. So there's three formats to choose from. There's Pioneer, there's Modern, and there's Legacy. So the lower seed gets to pick the first format to veto. So in our coming up match here, we have Luke Christensen, who's the 3 seed, versus Sam Black, who's the 6. So Sam gets the choice of the first veto of the format. If you followed along with us yesterday, you know Sam went 0-2 in his Pioneer pod. And we kind of discussed it at length yesterday night
hmm
that we figured Sam would ban Pioneer, which he ended up doing.
Yeah, and I mean this matchup just seems quite bad. Or we have a deck that's not particularly looking to interact.
Yeah.
In the Christensen.
He has the blue-white control deck, is what Luke is playing.
Right.
Here.
Okay. Yeah, I had it wrong then. I was thinking it was the other one. But yeah, so blue control versus a creature-based board presence deck, which is going to get annihilated by sweepers.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
And Sam having a rough day yesterday, I think, kind of influences that decision as
Sure.
well.
Yeah.
Even if you think, you know what, maybe had a reasonable matchup,
Yeah.
having some, some feelings from yesterday kind of carries over into
Yeah. I
today.
mean,
and
you
he's
should
not
be a little gun
confident.
shy. I mean,
Yeah.
he got just crushed in Pioneer yesterday.
Yeah. So Sam goes ahead and vetoes Pioneer out.
Mhm.
So we will not be playing Pioneer. So then what that means is Luke has the choice between Modern and Legacy. So just taking a peek through their deck list here, Luke was playing he's playing like the Ice Fang Kotal, the Bant Snow deck, basically, with Teferis and Okos and things like that. Sam's playing arguably the best deck in the format in the Simic Urza deck. And, I mean, I just don't ever want to play against Urza.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this matchup. I don't think Luke would look at this matchup and say this is a matchup I don't want to play.
Right.
Because it's. I mean, they have a lot of the same. There's overlapping cards. There's just. The games are gonna be long,
Yeah.
and Sam Black is a player. What you don't necessarily want to think to yourself, I want to play a 20-turn game and try and just make tighter decisions than him. That's a lot to
It is.
sign up for. And so Luke chose Legacy.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're gonna be playing.
Yeah, so on Luke's end for Legacy, he's playing Sultai Delver, which is kind of like I would say it's a newer strategy in Legacy, thanks to things like Oko.
Okay.
It's newer.
It's
Like the Grixis Delver and the Izzet Delver,
Uh-huh.
those strategies existed, but
Sure.
Sultai I don't think was very good, like unless you were playing like the Shardless Agent and things
Uh-huh.
like that. And I think that deck has just been off the planet forever now.
It has been gone for a while. Yeah. I mean, Bug Delver still existed. I mean, Bug Delver's been around for a while.
Yeah.
With Delver backed up by him to Turok and
Yeah.
then Tarmogoyfs and things like that. And yeah, but so we have here Christensen playing a Delver deck, which I mean Sam Black's deck is a mid-rangey creature deck, lots of value stuff, and so Luke is going to be trying to go under him here.
Yeah.
And that's going to be not an easy task, but one that's definitely possible.
Yeah.
And we thought that Luke would choose Legacy, and that's what happened.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that like Luke's deck in general here omits Baleful Strix from the main deck anywhere. It's just not good enough to make the cut anymore with things like Oko is going to be the 2 of in the deck here, and Gurmag Angler is kind of one of those newer upgrades in the past couple years.
Sure, yeah, and Baleful Strix is a card. Baleful Strix is not an aggressive card, and this is an aggressive deck. So, no, I'm not surprised we don't see that. We want to be putting pressure, and Baleful Strix is a very efficient card, but it's not going to kill your opponent.
Yes. Yeah, so we'll bring up Sam's deck list here also. So he's playing the Bant Loam deck. You can see we saw that on camera. You and I did coverage for that
Yeah.
round also.
Yeah.
He played against this like a snow control deck, I
Yeah.
would say.
No, it looked good yesterday. It's really there's kind of different ways you could look at what this construction is, even though we really haven't seen quite this accumulation of cards before. It's one way of looking at it, and what jumps out to me is it's basically green, white, dark depths,
Yeah.
which existed for maybe a brief span earlier this year.
Yep.
It's green white dark depths splashing Oko is what this deck is, and yeah, I think there's if you're playing a long game, if you're playing with counter spells or wraths, things that trying to generate just card advantage 2-for-1s, you're gonna have a hard time grinding this deck out.
Yeah, Sam's deck's really sweet. We kind of mentioned what you're talking about there. Sam just kind of outground the miracle or
Yeah,
the control deck.
completely.
He
Yeah,
was playing 3-drop after 3-drop, and they would get countered, and Sam was like, "Yeah, it's totally fine. Like I'm in it for the long run." With
right.
Oko, Titania was the big
Yeah.
draw in the post
Yeah,
board game.
and you
too.
have Green Sun Zeus just to recycle out, these value creatures, these good 3-drops, and yeah, I mean, if you have Force of Will against this deck, what are you even countering?
Yeah, just
It's just every card is the same. It's just reasonably good stuff that fits together well and generates an advantage over time. The Luke is not going to have to choose because Luke's not going to have to choose like he is not going to be concerned so much with the ongoing card advantage.
Yeah.
It's going to be I want to get my threat down and protect my threat, especially
Yeah.
Delver. The
Yeah.
flying is going to matter a lot.
Yeah, this deck to me feels a lot like we used to call them like the protect the queen strategies, and this is kind of feels like one of those decks. And I just don't know how good it is going to be. You mentioned what are you even countering? Like what is the day's force and the 6 forces? What are they really
Well,
countering?
but I think it's a simpler task than it is for the control deck because if we have Delver and Tarmogoyf, we're going to want like something like Tireless Tracker. Well, we can probably allow Sam to generate some clues and draw some cards using his mana for the turns while Tarmogoyf is just crashing through.
Yeah.
As long as it's bigger than the tracker at that point.
Right.
We're not gonna want Oko on the board because that can take down our flying and make our creatures are big.
Yeah, Luke's creatures.
And,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
and so we don't want them elked.
Yeah, I like what Luke has going on here with like Abrupt Decay and Fatal Push too. He has
Mhm.
some ways that aren't 2-for-1ing yourself
Yeah.
to get rid of Tireless Tracker, Night of the Reliquary, Questing Beast, things like that. Where when we watched Sam play against a more controlling deck, the more controlling deck was having a 2-for-1 themselves every
Yeah,
time to get rid of
yeah.
these cards.
And these wastelands are going to matter. Sam has a couple basic lands, but his cards don't cost 1 and 2 mana. They cost 3 and 4 mana.
Yeah.
And so even though Sam will be able to establish some stable mana sources, the wastelands I think from Luke's side will make a difference.
Yeah, I it's hard for me to pick against Sam's deck because it's doing a lot of really cool stuff and it's hard to attack, but I kind of like where Luke's at in this
I do
matchup.
too. I think Luke going first here that definitely matters.
Mhm.
But even if he wasn't, I would say maybe we go with him with his side, but with going first with the aggressive deck there's just not. I mean, Sam has some removal.
Yeah.
If Sam's opening hand has the Swords of Punishers in it to pick off the first threat and that resolves, then there's a different story.
Yeah.
But if there's a counter for the swords, or if Sam doesn't draw one, then a Delver or Tarmogoyf could go a long way here to start
Yeah,
with.
yeah, I agree. So once we get into the match here, we'll talk about the sideboards a little bit because I'm very interested in what is going on in some of these sideboards, like for Sam especially with like Veil of Summer being a card that exists now, which is really great. So I'm interested to see where they line up. I think they're almost getting ready to play here, so they're shuffling up and getting ready. You think Luke's ahead in the matchup, though? You said.
I think he is. I think. I mean, I'll say that that's what I think. That is not what I know based on observation. That's just what I think based on what we're looking at here.
All right, well, we'll get ready to kick off our second quarterfinal here. Luke Christensen on Sultai Delver versus Sam Black playing Bantloam.
This is a matchup, or this is a matchup where several years ago when Sultai Delver would have played him to Turok, I feel like that's a card that Luke would probably wish he had here.
Yeah, definitely.
Now that's the card that's much worse because Veil of Summer exists. But in game one, Sam's deck has a lot of 3-drops and more expensive cards. Like the curve doesn't go up too far, but it does concentrate heavily on 3. And so something like him coming down before that could really do a lot of damage, and we're just not going to see that here.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to watch this one. Sam's deck was really cool to watch.
Yes.
The round we did, and I also watched him beat Bomberman in the first round.
Yeah, the match we had on camera yesterday, Sam's deck got to do what it's designed to do, generate advantage over a longer game, and where your opponent is just having a hard time keeping up.
Yeah.
This is going to be very different.
Great. Well, I'm excited to play some legacy action here for sure. All right.
I'm happy too. The last year when we did this, we had out of our veto rounds, we
Uh-huh.
had 4 standard matches played and 2 modern.
That's right.
And
That's right.
this year we kicked off with modern, and now Legacy, second match.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
that's great for me,
Yeah, it's definitely good.
and also for people to enjoy good Magic, because Legacy generates a lot of good games. I am biased, but that's the way I feel.
I think this one has the potential to be great. So you see Luke leading off on an Underground Sea into a Ponder here.
All right, that's fine. Again, so but again, not having a Delver is big. Like Sam has to be happy
Yeah.
seeing the Ponder there.
Yeah, Luke going to leave his Ponder and draw a card there. All right, and Sam has Once Upon a Time. Good card. Wow, Luke's going to daze that right away. All right.
Interesting. That's
Okay.
that feels aggressive to me.
It is.
I'm a little surprised that surprised may not be the right word. If he has, okay, I was gonna say
There's
if he has a Delver follow up, it's okay. If he didn't have a Delver here, that would be a pretty sketchy play, I think. But
Okay.
all right, here we go.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time, one of those new cards here. It says, if this spell is the first spell you've cast this game, you may cast it without paying its mana cost, but you saw Sam do. You get to look at the top 5 cards of your library, reveal a creature or land from among them, and put it in your hand.
So dazing that, I mean, it's possible that Sam would keep a no land hand with Once Upon a Time,
Mhm.
and maybe, well, I mean, that's certainly what Luke's hoping for when
Sure.
he dazes it.
Okay.
But it's a situation where I can't say it's wrong, but I really question
Okay.
the choice.
Well, Sam's got Wasteland into a Swords of Plowshares. Just kind of the recipe Sam needs to be successful in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Luke looks like he's about to 2-for-1 Sam.
Another reason why
himself.
Luke would go for that daze is if he doesn't have a second land. Then it would also make a lot of sense to do that.
All right, let's
Because in that
see.
case, he wouldn't be costing himself a land drop. So this is, I mean,
Yeah, Luke lets it go.
this board right now, it looks like Sam went first.
Yeah, it does.
He's ahead in mana, and there's no
Wow.
permanents. Okay.
This is the classic games legacy that I remember.
Yeah.
and
And
Sam
there's
goes to Wasteland
another
too.
one back.
All right. Turn 3 for Luke. He has no lands in play, and Sam has one.
So this kind of looks like the beginning of the modern match last round. No lands
Yes.
in play, although that was a slightly different reason there, but still.
Sam has another Swords to Plowshares in hand.
But not another land.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Luke, it was really weird. So he kept the Ponder on, you
Mhm.
know, and if he didn't think he would get Wastelanded right away, he might have left like a different card on top. He might have been bricked off on land, but he does find a Misty Rainforest, and he's going to go searching through his library here.
Yeah, we talked about Sam maybe being somewhat vulnerable to wastelands.
Yeah,
Luke doesn't actually have any basics,
zero
but
basics.
the
Yeah.
assumption was that, well, he'll have a board presence early, so him being stripped of mana won't make much sense, really. That is not the way the early turns have developed here.
Yeah, Luke goes with a tropical island here, and it looks like he's about to fire off another Ponder to try and set himself up. All right, there's a Ponder for Luke. This game is moving really slow, which I think favors Sam overall, although he is stuck on the Wasteland.
Yeah, because we're moving. I would agree with you if we were moving slow, and the game looked like it was like turn 3 or 4. But we're moving slow, but we're effectively still on turn 1.
That's true.
And so I don't know that I would say that we're in a position that we haven't got to the middle of the game yet, even though we're on something like turn 4.
All right, so Luke going to play Underground Sea, and he's going to delve into a giant Gurmag Angler. Sam needs a white source here.
Well, he drew a Mox Diamond, which is sort of a white source.
Yeah.
That is going to hurt. So now we have this Wasteland just hanging on the board. And
Yeah, 2 threats
yeah,
now.
and this is going to get. I mean, this is going to snowball very quickly.
Yeah, Luke's in great shape now. Sam does have another Swords of Plowshares in hand, but he is missing.
Okay.
Wow.
So Thespian Stage will allow the Mox Diamond to come down and enable colored mana. If Sam could do this over, not that he would make sense, but if he had held the Wasteland, he'd probably be better off right now.
Yeah.
Even though you wouldn't necessarily do that.
And Luke going to force a negation.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, and this is.
I think that's great.
Yeah. So do I. I mean, Sam might be actually dead now because even if he takes a hit from both creatures here, and then next turn can swords 1, he might just be dead.
Yeah, what can you do? That Tarmogoyf is only, I think, a 2/3.
Oh, yeah. Force of negation, exiling the Mox Diamond actually hurts quite a bit here.
There's another Tarmogoyf. So Swords to Plowshares, there's a land, and is that, I can't make out what that, oh, there's a,
That's the Once Upon a
and
Time.
there's Once Upon a Time,
Yeah.
so it's only a 2/3 here.
No, this pawn. Oh, because you're right. It is. It's only 2/3. But even
It
so,
is-
that's enough.
yeah.
Well, I guess okay, yeah, Sam packs it in.
All right.
So
I'll
going
click.
after mana sources actually worked out very well for Luke, getting the Once Upon a Time and the Mox Diamond.
Yeah, that mana denial strategy I didn't know would be very good against Sam. He does have a pair of Life from the Loam, which is pretty good for him. But
But
yeah,
that's
shutting Sam down was pretty good.
yeah, I mean Life from Loam though, that's going to be a card that we're going to be moving into the middle of the game to take advantage of, and that's why I thought Luke might have an edge here because his deck is just playing earlier in the game, and in this game in particular, the early developmental stages of the game lasted 6 turns.
That's right. Yeah.
Sam didn't survive the early stages of the game because of wastelands and then counters on his mana setup.
Yeah. So taking a peek here at Sam's sideboard to see if it gets a little bit better post board. He has 2 Collector Oof, a Gaddock Teague, a Knight of Autumn, a Palace Jailer, a Teferi Time Raveler, 2 Spell Pierce, 3 Veil of Summer, a Savine's Reclamation, a Deafening Silence, and 2 Rest in Peace. I think there's a lot to like for Sam.
There's definitely I don't know that there's really a haymaker card, although Rest in Peace is probably close.
Rest in Peace,
Peace wipes out what
Tarmogoyf
2/3 of
and
Luke's
Gurmag Angler.
half of Luke's mainline threats.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tarmogoyf and Angler, leaving Delver and Oko.
Yeah.
So that's pretty significant. Veil of Summer in Sam's deck is reasonably good, although it requires, it's like playing around the days. Like it takes you an extra turn to get to the point where
Sure.
it'll do anything. And this may not be really what he might have time for that.
Okay.
What else we have here? I think Little Teferi is decent.
Yeah.
Even if we're resetting a creature, especially an Angler, and cantripping, and then it has to be attacked down, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I thought the blue cards would be good. Spell Pierce is a maybe for me. I don't know if it's really great. Teferi, I think, is really good against, you mentioned, against you being able to bounce things and protecting him from counter spells. Bouncing Gurmag Angler sets Luke back a lot.
Sure. And even like unflipping a Delver. I mean, I think that Teferi's fine. It's not, stupendously good, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't really like the Spell Pierces that much because, I mean, we can get Oko. If we can hit Oko, that's great.
Yeah.
But the other threats, it's not going to do anything
That's
to.
fair.
And then there's some cards here that, like, Palace Jailer could come in, but we're going to be... If we have 4 mana and we're casting Palace Jailer, maybe we're at a point where we can defend the Monarchy.
Yeah.
But certainly, if we cast Palace Jailer and then there's a Delver still on the board that hits and takes the Monarch back, I mean, that's an easy way for Sam to lose control of a game.
Yeah, Rest in Peace is definitely the one card.
Yeah, Rest in Peace is a real hammer, though.
So taking a peek here at Luke's sideboard, he's got a pair of Baleful Strix, a Brazen Borrower, 2 Plague Engineers, 2 Liliana the Last Hope, a Blue Elemental Blast, a Crop Rotation, 2 Surgical Extractions, a Veil of Summer, a Sylvan Library, a Bojuka Bog, and a Caracas. What do you like here?
Well, I think the Brazen Borrower is definitely good because Sam has a lot of 3 mana threats that would be great to remove from the board, plus the Merit Lage combo.
Okay. Yeah, that's like his 1 out to Merit Lage, right?
Yeah, well, he has more after boarding because we
Okay.
have the Caracas.
Oh, sure.
I think Sylvan Library is very likely going to come in and maybe one of the best cards Luke can start having his opening hand. I don't know that we'll see. We might see Liliana just have. It doesn't pick off much. Like there's not much we're going to kill, but it is a threat. And then I think we'll see Caracas and maybe Crop Rotation to go along with it.
Okay.
Although in that last game, like if things go the way Luke wants them to, Sam won't even be having an opportunity to assemble Merit Lage.
Sure.
So maybe you don't bother with it. I believe there's only one legend in Sam's deck aside from Merit Lage.
Questing Beast and Titania, I believe. Questing Beast is legendary, I believe.
Okay, so there's Titania. So it does a little bit, but I don't.
Yeah, not the best.
I don't think it's exciting, and it's tutorable. But then do you really want to bring in Crop Rotation anyway? You can sort of dodge Sam's Wastelands,
Sure.
which I mean does matter, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm not thrilled about Luke's sideboard here,
Yeah,
but
I'm not really either.
he's already slightly ahead, so that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
But it's not going to help him too much.
Yeah, I think Sylvan Library is definitely the one that stands out. I do like how some of these decks now have moved to the Crop Rotation package. I think that's very smart. It makes some of their worst matchups significantly better with Caracas and Bog.
I agree, but and if this was a, four Dark Depths, 4 Thespian Sage deck, then absolutely the Crop Rotation is coming in. That not being the case, where there's only one of each, and things like another Reliquary is probably gonna have to survive, or Reclaimer, has to. Oh, this isn't a Reclaimer deck, but Knight's gonna have to survive in order to assemble that.
Yeah.
I'm not thrilled about it.
Yeah, I'm not either. I don't. I like Sam maybe in this post board game on the play. He
Hmm.
gets to get around days early if that's something that Luke. I assume Luke's going to leave in days, maybe not on the draw.
Well, I mean, Luke may not be bringing in that many
That's
cards.
fair.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's possible it would be like two. Like the minimum is going to be two, because at the least I think Brazen Bar or Silver Library coming in.
Okay.
So if there's at least two coming out, which is obviously well below what a typical number would be. We could see as many as I'm going to say six
Sure.
coming in. In that case, Days is much more likely to come out.
Okay.
But I don't think Sam is in a spot to be able to gauge how Luke's going to board.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, I think this is definitely the matchup. Luke gets the second choice here. We mentioned Sam was able to veto Pioneer, and Luke was able to choose the remaining two formats between Modern and Legacy. And I think this kind of went the way he was hoping it would go.
Yeah.
Especially game one.
Yeah,
there.
game one went exactly how you would draw it up. We stayed in game one for honestly more turns than I actually thought was realistic.
Okay.
And that worked out well. I mean, Luke went completely underneath Sam despite not having a turn one Delver. Sam was disrupted on a mana. He was short in color mana. He had mana sources, but they didn't produce colors, and that was the end of it.
Definitely. All right, as these guys get shuffled up and getting ready, Sam's taking a quick peek again at Luke's list just to make sure he didn't forget anything. So, really, really nice run from Sam. I know we mentioned he O2'd the Pioneer portion yesterday, and then I believe he won both pods.
He did. He won his modern group and his legacy group, and that was kind of a point putting the tournament together that we tried to emphasize, that if you can win two formats, then you'll make day two regardless of what happens in the third one. And Sam, started the day off getting smashed in Pioneer, and then was able to deal with all of his opponents in their two formats, and here he is. And then now again playing Legacy, although in this time around, not playing against another control deck or another slower deck, he may be up. He's in for a fight here. This is not going to be easy.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how this one goes. What do you think Sam's best opener looks like against Luke here? Is it include Mox Diamond, some fast mana?
I mean, I would be very happy to have Noble Hierarch into Rest in Peace with the ability to pay for days.
Okay.
I think that would be great.
Yes.
Noble Hierarch, or I would really like to have 3 mana on turn 2.
Okay.
Whether it's a Mox Diamond, I'd rather have it be a Hierarch, but if it's Mox Diamond, that's good enough too.
Okay.
I wonder if because Sam, we are confident Sam's going to bring in Rest in Peace. I wonder if the Life for Loams go out.
I thought about that. I think the Life and Loam, if you're bringing in Rest in Peace, Life and Loam probably comes out, and you're just on that plan.
And if that's happening, I wonder if a Mox Diamond comes out.
Okay. That makes sense.
But still, there's still going to be greater than 4 number of accelerators in Sam's deck. And once upon a time, it gives him even more shots at having the Hierarch on turn 1.
Yeah, I think Sam's hand looks pretty good here. He's got Mox Diamond. He has a Swords of Plowshares, Karakas, Veil of Summer. He's got everything we talked about, especially when he has that Noble Hierarch as well.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned an accelerated play, and he has Oko, too.
Yeah, he has Oko. Yeah, Oko coming down. Turn 2 is going to be... That's going to be a lot for... I mean, he does have Abrupt Decay, so he can... I mean, in his deck. Luke can directly remove the Oko.
Yep. All right, so Sam has to discard that Karakas. For that Mox Diamond goes and plays out the Noble Hierarch. And yeah, Luke has days in hand here.
Well, your opponent's going to have potentially a 4 mana on turn 2, so good luck with your days.
Yeah, Sam likely looking to hit a land here. All right, and he hits it.
Mm-hmm.
Misty Rainforest, the land drawn.
So we're gonna, and then there's a Veil in hand too.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
So Sam he really needs this Oko to resolve because he doesn't have much else going on.
Yeah.
But it's going to resolve.
Yeah. All right, so Sam gonna fetch with that Misty Rainforest.
Even though he's ramped out here, I still wouldn't be surprised to see him get a basic.
Okay.
How
many does he have in there?
He has 2.
Forest and a Plains.
Yeah.
Snow covered variety. Sam's doing some thinking here.
I think it's likely we'll either see 2 basics or 2 duels.
Okay, so he goes and gets the snow-covered forest.
I mean, he doesn't need to get the second one yet.
Right.
But it's likely he'll have to fetch. Well, I guess if it's just a daze, then he wouldn't actually. I mean, Luke's not going to daze into Sam being able to pay for it.
Certainly.
So it would only be if there's a force.
unless he has double counterspell and he wants Sam to pay in order to play around Veil of Summer.
Uh-huh.
So he has.
I mean, if there is a force fault, yeah, the Oko's just in,
That
and
resolves.
this is already.
Okay, here's my next question for you. Luke's deck, how is he going to get rid of Oko?
Well, he has Abrupt Decay.
Yep.
But the Veil's going to stop that, and then Luke's got a huge grip of cards here. He hasn't even played anything yet, but this is not going to be easy.
All right, so Luke.
Sylvan Library would be nice here because
Library, yeah.
what threat are we hoping to play? Tarmogoyf? Yeah, sure. Here's an Elk.
Yeah.
That's not going to get you too far.
Yeah, Sam, with one of those good starts we mentioned, Mox Diamond being one of the cards in an early threat, which
yeah,
threat or an answer.
Maybe this is more mana ramp than ideally you would want. He'd probably rather have his choice of Hierarch or Diamond and not both, and have another different card in his hand. But this is what we have. There's your Abrupt Decay, and then this is going to be actually this is going to work.
Yeah, can't get dazed.
Because the Veil can be dazed, and then Sam is not going to have.
Wow.
I mean, he's going to have a Swords of Pleasure in his hand. Are we incorrect? Is there not a Veil?
Oh, there's definitely a Veil. Sam just lets it go, though. I believe that card is a Veil. That's definitely a Veil of Summer.
That's definitely
and
a Veil of
there's
Summer.
another
He drew
Oko.
another Oko, but he didn't know that was there. That's interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, wow.
Unless does he know that Daze is there? I don't think so. Huh.
Something I have to ask him about after the match. That's definitely an interesting line. All right, so Sam going to make that food into an Elk and attack Luke. And now Luke, Luke, you mentioned Abrupt Decay, and Luke only has 2 Abrupt Decays in his deck.
Yeah.
Comes a Brainstorm for Luke. And he's got some things to put back
I
here.
feel like I'm missing something. I can't really wrap my head around Sam not protecting the first Oko.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think you have to I don't know. That's really tough for me.
Yeah.
You've played significantly more Legacy than I have. I would have fired off the Veil of Summer immediately. The fact that you're concerned by it.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Black is obviously a very experienced player, very accomplished. He has a reason.
Yeah.
It's just not clear to me what it is.
Yeah. All right, so Luke going to go ahead and Fatal Push the Noble Hierarch and then play out a Delver Secrets. So Sam is starting to get a little bit land heavy here.
Yeah, he is. But, I mean, Oko is very good at mitigating Flood just because he does everything by itself.
You are correct. All right, so Elk going to come attacking in here. Put Luke down to 12. And then there is a Swords to Plowshares going after that.
Yeah, I mean, Luke is going to need a trump here, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
The other Abrupt Decay or the Brazen Bar would have bounced the Oko and then countered on the way back down, but you're already behind. And that's not going to work anyway because of the Veil, but...
Oof. All right, so there's the...
yeah, there's the last card in hand.
Sam draws Dryad Arbor. That's funny.
Once this we have the second Elk on the board, Luke is doesn't have long to. I mean, a Tarmogoyf would be able to block.
Yeah,
sort of.
It'd be an Elk.
I mean, yeah, it would be an Elk, but at least it trades and that's buys the time.
Yep. So Sam coming attacking in for 6 here, and Luke is trying to figure out what he wants to do here. He's got another Fatal Push. Yeah, so he Fatal Pushes one of the Elks down. Going to go down to 10.
It's so miserable using
feels
removal spells
awful.
on food
Oh,
tokens.
it feels bad.
I mean, it's just 2 turns of loyalty and trading for a card. I mean, Planeswalkers. I feel it's fine if 4-mana Planeswalkers are trading activations for cards because you spent I mean, it's 4 mana is a lot. 3 is less.
Yeah.
And so we're trading. Boy, Fatal Push on. I mean, what else is he gonna do? It makes sense. I mean, I would make the same decision, but it's unpleasant.
Yeah, it's rough. So it looks like Sam going to go fire off a green Sun Zenith here for 2. What is he going to go grab for 2? Scavenging Ooze is a consideration. Is the only 2 in there?
Let's see. Well, we gain. I mean, we're not getting Galactique, that's for sure.
Right. There's Safekeeper also. So Safekeeper and Scavenging Ooze are the 2 hits, I believe.
There's more Noble Hierarchs, but that's just
yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a Safekeeper.
Okay, so we just paid extra. That's something that happens sometimes. That's fine.
Yep.
I mean, he has the mana to spare, he doesn't, so it doesn't
Yep.
cost him anything, and it's more deceptive on what his intentions might be.
Sure. All right. So Sam plays that Dryad Arbor and says go. Crop rotation here for Luke. He's going to rotate his Underground Sea. I think he's going to go get Wasteland or what?
I think we're deck thinning here.
Just deck thing? Okay.
I mean, we could wasteland the.
A Bajuka Bog here.
Okay, sure.
Okay. I guess that's fine.
That doesn't. Yeah.
Hmm.
The Bajuga Bog got boarded in.
Yeah, that is interesting to me.
Yeah, that feels.
Is he trying to hedge his bets against Life in the Loam?
Well, maybe probably if we're bringing in crop rotation, maybe you just bring in all the targets that even might do something.
Yeah, he has Caracas in hand, I believe.
I'm not a fan of that choice though. I don't think the Bajuga Bog is likely to matter too much here, especially when we're considering the fact that Sam is bringing in Rest in Peace.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point.
Yeah.
Is with Rest in Peace, Bajuka Bog just doesn't have a text box other than black taps for black mana.
So if we cut other lands for it, then okay. If we cut a spell for the Bajuga Bog, I would it would take some convincing to make me okay with that.
Yeah, and I think Luke's just left here with a Caracas and a Daze in hand, so Sam's going to be able to attack through here with those elk. Yeah, he's going to attack. He's just going to attack Luke here. And wow, Luke's throwing away the Delver for that safekeeper.
Sure, I mean, why not?
You have to, right?
Yeah, waiting for a flip doesn't do anything because it doesn't become any better.
Sam doing something.
I mean, Sam doesn't have any more cards either, but the Oko is just enough.
Yeah, the Oko's virtual card advantage here. Extra threat every 2 turns. Sam has just 1 Dryad Arbor, right? There's no reason to play 2.
So Mox Diamond gets animated.
Oh, yeah.
That's
good
fine.
one
We
too.
also could have just animated the Dryad Arbor for another attacker this turn.
Yeah.
But
all right.
this works. I mean, any decisions there were going to work out fine.
Wow.
And I don't even feel like Luke's draw was necessarily terrible there. It was just the second Oko was way too much.
Yeah, so Sam Black going to take down game number 2 over Luke Christensen, and that game went a lot different than game number 1 did.
It did, yeah. And but it also went kind of, if Luke's going to win, it's going to be he gets early board presence. If Sam's going to win, it's going to be based on
The ramp.
3 drops and ramping into 3 drops, and that's what we saw both games.
All right.
But Sam's going to have to win going second here, and that is going to be harder. Now, the draw he just had was plenty fast to even get ahead going second.
Yeah.
But that's not his typical draw, having 2 accelerators.
I'm trying to get a read on Luke, how he's sideboarding here. I'm wondering if he's going to go back. It looks like he's going back to the drawing board. I wonder if he's removing that Bajuka Bog after seeing it not doing anything that last game.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Luke a little bit here as he's one of our players qualified for the top 8 of our championship here. Luke's 23 years old. He's a student and from nearby Mundelein, Illinois. He was at-large second, so very high on our leaderboard. So 5 CT top 8s with a CT win. Record against the field, not great.
Yeah, that's surprising. It's too that I would think the players that qualified at large would have on par better records against the field because they didn't spike one event. They won consistently throughout the year. But in this case, not so much.
Yeah, so his previous Magic accomplishments, 2016 competitor, so he missed.
That was the first one.
That was the first.
Yeah.
Yep. So that a Pro Tour appearance via RPTQ top 4. So Luke's on the grind. He also plays WoW Classic. If you've ever played.
Nice. I played. I never played Classic. I played when the first expansion came out, which I think was Burning Crusade.
Yeah.
Back whenever that was, I played for. I played for about 6 months.
Okay.
Not heavily, but I played for about 6 months, and then not again after that.
Okay.
But I had some friends that played it all the way through.
Cool. All right, and here we go. Nicknamed Luke E. Christensen by his salty friends. What's that mean? Do you know what that means?
I think it's Lucky. It's Lucky Christensen.
I thought it was like Chuck E. Cheese is when I saw it.
All right, let's just go to the next slide and save you from this.
I'm out here.
You're dying here. All right, Sam Black, 37 years old, writes for StarCityGames.com from Madison, which is I think we decided was about 2.5 hours drive from here. There were a number of players from Madison in this event. He also qualified at large, 3 top 8s without a win and a better but still not flashy record against the field. And then here's where really he shines: 17 Grand Prix top eights, 3 Pro Tour top eights. That's likely more than the rest of the field
Yeah.
combined on both categories.
Yep.
And years ago, he won a car as a prize. I remember reading about that at the time.
That's awesome.
And yeah, by far the most accomplished player in the field.
Yeah, definitely. Sam is no slouch. Obviously, I think most players. Most people thought, Sam's probably the best technical player in the field. Obviously, he has the accolades you see on the screen there to show that. And I think his deck choice, I think he flopped on the Pioneer one, but the Legacy one is pretty cool. It's a new style of deck. I haven't seen anything really remotely touching this.
I mean, all his decks for this event were original.
Yeah.
They were in Legacy adopting strategies that existed but changing them, and these are, and I saw he was on Twitter this week looking for people he was close with to advise him on kind of his builds.
Yeah.
Even Sam Black was the last player to submit his deck lists for this event. I believe they came in 20 seconds before the deadline.
Yeah, I was going to say, I believe he had seconds left.
Yes, yeah, he did. And I an hour before the deadline, he had tweeted, "I'm looking for some people to talk with, just to share my ideas and look for some feedback." And he spent 59 minutes and 40 seconds of that, and then clicked submit, and it worked out well. He's in the top 8.
That's so good. All right, these players looking over their 7s to see where they want to start off. Sam looks like he's got Sword Splashers again, a little bit land heavy. I think there's a Mox Diamond and 4 lands in there.
Okay, but Luke's gonna throw his away.
Mulligan, who do you think that favors in this matchup?
If both players mulligan, I think it favors Sam.
Okay.
Usually, I feel like both players mulling favors the slower deck.
Okay.
Most of the time. Just because aggressive decks. The easiest way to illustrate it is if you're playing Burn, because you just have, if both players have 5 cards, you still have to do 20 damage, and it's just harder when you have fewer cards.
Okay, makes sense.
And Sam having a land heavy hand, I don't think is necessarily a problem.
I don't think so either. Yeah, him being able to, we watched several times now with the Green Sun Zenith, able to just recycle that over and over and over again. And once you hit that 5 mana sweet spot, I mean, he's just going to continue to get threat after threat, and as his deck gets smaller. So, yeah, I'm with you that Luke's a little bit disadvantaged in the mulligan game here. So.
Well, and that's if they both do it. If it's just Luke mulling, that's obviously just a straight disadvantage.
Yeah.
And Sam's basically up a card, which he's going to give back on the Mox Diamond. So he's trading. Luke's mulligan will be evened out, but Sam will basically jump ahead of turn, which is not good.
I think Luke has the necessary tools. He's got a Delver in hand and a Thoughtseize. I mean, that's and some lands and a Ponder, I believe. So he's got tools.
All right. I feel like this is a matchup where you slam down the Delver first and then go for the Thoughtseize on turn 2.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, so Underground Sea into Delver.
Okay, and that's what we see.
Luke agrees with you, partner. So I'm going to draw for the turn here. Oko, that's a good card to draw.
In most cases, in most formats, yeah.
Not as good against Thoughtseize here.
No, but still, it's another.
Man,
Sam kept his hand with some high value card, and that just means he'll have another one.
Veil of Summer here, that's such a beating.
Yeah, it would be. Veil of Summer is so good.
It's an incredible card. So Sam, just figure out which land card he wants to discard to make this Mox Diamond available. Looks like Savannah might be the choice.
Savannah generally not one of our elite dual lands, so it makes sense. I think is it. I mean, Plateau's I think the worst.
Yeah.
Is Savannah second worst? I'm not sure.
Yeah, because
Badlands is the other one that's really in the running. Yeah. Maybe Taiga. I mean, I don't know.
Wow, Swords to Plowshares there for Sam. Gonna get rid of that Delver, and he's going to pass back to Luke here. Luke certainly needs another follow-up threat. I know he has that Thoughtseize, but he's gonna need a follow-up threat here. All right. Oh, Scrubland's a good one. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, you know what? I think Scrubland is behind Badlands and Taiga.
Yeah,
so I think it's Plateau at the bottom and then Scrubland.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Chad helping us out there in our dual land rankings.
Yep, our power rankings. We should have posted them on our Twitter account.
See, it's safe though. Like, you can get into trouble by ranking the players, but ranking the dual lands, I don't think there's anybody who's gonna get offended by that.
You'd be surprised. There's probably some.
I mean, we have a dead guy player in this event. Maybe that player's raging right now listening to us talk.
Oh, man.
All right, so Luke
pondering here, as we are pondering as well. There's that Bajuka.
That's
Tapped
just
land.
yeah.
I mean, imagine if that's any other land. I assume he cut a land for this land.
I hope he did, because if his deck's diluted with just having Bajugawag in place of I don't know,
Anything?
yes,
Yeah.
then that's bad.
So Sam gonna take this opportunity to fetch with the flooded strand here. You think he's just gonna slam Oko again?
Into a daze.
Yeah, that's the one.
Um,
I don't know if he has another threat.
I don't. Well, yeah. If
Okay.
it depends on.
All right. Let's see where we go.
I do not. I'm not a fan of jamming Oko into a daze here.
Okay, he's gonna lead on Green Sun Zenith instead.
I am perfectly on board with that.
Yep.
Getting Noble Heart. Now this basically kills daze permanently.
Yeah, Sam's done a really good job the last 2 games of making Daze not a card,
Mm-hmm.
which is really big here for him. So goes in and grabs out that Noble Heart you mentioned there. Sam has, I believe, 4 cards left, maybe 3. Luke doing a quick check before I believe this Thoughtseize is still hanging out.
Well, you can't not cast it this turn.
Yeah.
I would have also said you can't not cast it last turn, and he didn't and got away with it.
Yep.
But it's got to come out now.
All right, well, here comes Thoughtseize. Take a peek at Sam's hand, and he has Scavenging Ooze and Oko.
Okay, I mean that's a hand that Luke can deal with.
It's beatable. It is certainly beatable. So Luke going to take the most powerful card perhaps ever printed. That's a good one. So takes Oko.
I mean, it does mean so we see the half of the Merit Lage combo. So
Yeah.
so neither Reliquary is going to be dangerous, as well as actually just drawing the Dark Depths.
I think all things considered, Luke's actually pretty happy with where the game is now.
Yes, I agree. We've reached kind of the middle phase of development, but Luke is not behind, and and Sam doesn't have. I mean, Scavenging Ooze is a relevant card, but
Sam picks up Green Sun Zenith there. Pretty good draw.
yeah, certainly. I mean, there are a lot of threats in Sam's deck. It's pretty chock full of cards that matter, but this is certainly one of them, and it's quite good.
This is a Green Suns for 3 here, and Luke says yes, that happens. You think Knight of the Reliquary is to pick up here?
I think it has to be. I mean,
and he has Thespian Stage already?
yeah. I mean, he sees the waste. If the Wasteland wasn't on the board, I would say it's absolutely Knight. With the Wasteland being there, maybe it's Tireless Tracker.
Okay. Yeah, he does have that Flooded Strand in play. So Sam going to dig through and see kind of what he wants. They're both right next to each other conveniently, so he can look at them together. And Sam, just kind of funneling back and forth and seeing which one. I'd be shocked if it's not Tireless Tracker, considering he only has 1 card left in hand here.
I think Tracker seems just fine here. It's it hurts a little. I understand, and well, maybe Luke not firing off the Wasteland preemptively, like on his own turn. But if he had picked off the Thespian Stage, then this Green Sun for Tireless Tracker would not be able to generate a clue instantaneously. And that definitely makes a big difference.
You see Sam going to crack that Flooded Strand into the graveyard and going to go looking for another land here in his deck. What's the other? He has a Plains and a Forest. Okay. So he's going to get Tropical Island. Make a clue here with that Tireless Tracker.
Yeah, another reason why you could really look at this deck as Green White Splash Oko is because you don't have too many decks that are realistically blue decks that don't have an island somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this really is not a blue deck, even though it has Oko in it.
All right, so Sam going to shuffle up, and his last card is Scavenging Ooze here. I mean, I don't know that Luke has any answers in hand right now, and he's going to have to probably save that Wasteland in case he does pick up a Fatal Push.
Yeah, he has to save it. Yeah, either that or okay. Well, I guess we did.
Wow, really nice.
Well, maybe we already had it. I don't
really
know,
nice.
Yeah, that is the best you could hope for. Sam nets a card out of the exchange, but it would unless you counter Tireless Tracker, you're generally going to get a card out of it.
Yeah. All right, so is Luke still stuck on 2 lands here though? I feel like he has a Ponder. He's got another Wasteland. Wow. Okay.
All right, I like that.
Down to 2 cards. Sam's also going to go up to a second card here. He has another Green Sun Zenith, which is less potent after being Wastelanded twice.
Right.
There's that Scavenging Ooze. And Sam going to
We're getting in for 1?
Attack for 2? Or 1, excuse me.
I don't
Or is he
think
going to eat
so.
his own tracker, possibly?
He's not sure either.
Sam attacks him. All right. So Sam. Oh,
No,
he's
no, he is
eating
eating
the
it.
fatal
Okay,
push.
okay.
I was just seeing there's no Snapcaster mages. Maybe just trying to shrink down Tarmogoyf preemptively here.
I guess. That's interesting though.
Luke with
Well, there's Angler. I mean, he's trying to
the
make Angler
angler.
more
Sure.
expensive. Yeah.
Luke goes for a brainstorm here.
Although again, that doesn't have to be done preemptively because there's still 6 cards in the graveyard.
Sure.
So that activation feels like it could have waited. It didn't have to happen right then, but there's also no punishment for doing it early.
Sure.
It just doesn't matter very much, I don't think.
Right, so Luke brainstorms, then finds a polluted delta. Couple cards still left.
Yeah, Luke's hand size is now diminished.
It's a Veil Summer pickup for Sam. Sam's deck is really drawing lots of sweet ones here.
No,
So.
he's not hitting land, but he's got nice useful cards.
Attacking for 3 with that Scavenging use, thanks to the Exalted trigger from Noble Hierarch. And Sam going to use the Noble Hierarch's mana here, it looks like, to eat Tireless Tracker to pump up Scavenging Ooze. Sam going to go up to 19. 19 for everybody, and Sam's coming attacking in for 4 now here. And Luke looks like he picks up another Fatal Push, and Sam's going to fight back. He's got Veil of Summer.
Oof.
Boy, that's good.
It's
Draws a Sword Splashers. It's very good, too.
yeah. I mean, well, it's not good now, but
Yeah, it will.
yeah, that's just fine. Veil of Summer is just it's
What a beating of a card.
yeah. And yet I'm not sure. I'm not really in the camp that thinks it needs to be banned in the remaining formats, but
Yeah,
it is very, very good.
I think it's an appropriate power level for Legacy.
Mm.
It's on the fringe for me in Modern. It's really strong. All right, so Luke.
Luke needs help here. He needs something.
Yeah, like I feel like he left he had a Tarmogoyf with the Brainstorm, but if he fetches here, he's going to lose that. I think he left a Tarmogoyf on top of his deck here. His
I mean,
mana's really
Tarmogoyf,
weird.
from his perspective, Tarmogoyf seems good enough because it's big enough to handle the Scavenging Ooze, which isn't going to grow anymore. Well, big enough momentarily.
Yes.
The graveyard can be eaten up, so the Tarmogoyf will scale down.
Yeah.
That would take at least a turn, I think, because Sam doesn't have much green
He
mana.
only has 2 green mana. Yeah,
And there's a lot of cards in the graveyard, but and I mean, Sam has a swords in hand, but Luke doesn't know that.
Yeah. All right, so Luke going to fetch out here. And he's got... Does he have 2 cards left? Is that it? Sam's also got 2 cards. One Swords to Plowshares. One is a Green Sun Zenith.
What is the best card here for Luke? Oko's not really going to cut it. Scavenging Ooze already has a counter on it, and with the Hierarch, it's going to attack for 5 immediately, so that doesn't help.
I felt like it was just a removal spell of some
Yeah.
sort, but I mean, to kind of slow the bleeding until
Yeah,
he can draw
we've
into
already
it.
drawn. I mean, there's not a ton of removal spells in the deck. We've played a few already.
2 Fatal Pushes down.
Yeah.
So, Ponder.
Okay.
Yeah, he's looking for Tarmogoyf, it looks like here, as he's left that Tropical Island up, or Abrupt Decay is the other consideration. Looks like Oko is in there. There's a Thoughtseize, I believe. This is not the best Ponder.
I mean, Oko would be good after a removal spell, but it's not
Yeah.
going to do any good first.
Right.
He's right. Let's see. Gourmet Angler would be good.
And he shuffles this one up here. All right.
Yeah, Gourmet Angler is big enough to hold off the Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah. What he doesn't know is that Sam has that.
Sure, but yeah, but not knowing that, I think Gourmet Angler would be kind of the card you're hoping for here.
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you.
There's no true names in the deck, so we can't draw to that. There's no really other. Yeah, this is. I mean,
It's tough.
well, yeah, we're not drawing to a lot of cards here. Removal is. I mean, there are a number of removal spells, and that is probably the ideal right now.
Yeah.
Sylvan Library. We have enough life that Sylvan Library would not be a total bust, but we're getting.
Doesn't look good. Looks like
Sylvan Library next turn is probably too late.
it might have been a Daze as the pickup off that draw.
That is not going to help either. And there's a Knight of Reliquary for Sam. That can get dazed. With only 3 mana sources, Daze is going to be pretty live. But
Sam coming attacking in for 4 here.
we're taking, we're getting beat up pretty hard here from Luke's perspective.
Yeah, so Sam just passes back. Looks like I feel like there's a Thoughtseize and a Daze in there, which is not where you want to be at 10 with the board that Sam has going on. All right, Luke says go. Sam going to draw off that clue.
What do we got?
Feels like another Fatal Push there. Yeah,
It
another
is.
third fatal
Okay,
push.
that's good. So now if Sam doesn't draw a land, the daze is looking okay. I think that was another knight.
It looked like a Once Upon a Time, I believe. All right, well, there's life from the loam for Sam.
So it did stay in.
Yeah.
And it is a solid pure 3-for-1 here, which is, I mean, this at least gives Luke time to breathe because this isn't, adding anything of relevance to the board.
Sure. So Sam going to grab those 3 lands from life from the loam. And he's going to...
I mean, playing one of those leaves us the ability to hardcast Once Upon a Time at the end of the turn. That seems pretty decent. Oh, maybe we have actually something to play here.
He has, I would say he has Green Sun for 0. So Sam just ramping up. We're going to go get this Dryad Arbor here.
Yeah, and Daze once again dead. And then Hierarch might get in for a point here.
Yeah, I think Hierarch's coming in. All right.
Neither deck operating really at peak efficiency this game, but that's going to favor Sam basically every time.
Yeah, I think is this the third Green Sun Zenith that Sam's cast this game? So second or third?
Yeah, I think it might be third.
And so he's really taking advantage of that card getting shuffled in every turn. So Luke down to 9 here, I believe. Liliana, that's a nice start.
Oh, it sure is. So, yeah, I think we mentioned the sideboard. Liliana didn't have too many things he could pick off. Well,
Wow.
we got a board full of them now.
Yeah, that is a really nice start there for Luke. And Sam finds Oko, though. Less good against Oko.
Yeah. So with a land here, Sam could kill the Liliana.
Yep.
With Mox Diamond plus Dryad Arbor. I don't know that.
All right.
I don't know that he would necessarily choose to do that, but it would be an option.
So Sam going to fetch with that Flooded Strand.
Oh, Luke just must want to. Sam's at 19.
Yeah,
He's now going to 18 with 2 fetch. Luke has done 0 damage this game.
So much. I bet Sam might go for that line you mentioned of just killing Liliana with.
Maybe.
With
I mean, if he
diamond.
doesn't, the Dryad Arbor's dead anyway.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for it.
On the other hand, he could elk the Dryad Arbor, so it's just
that's fair as well.
Protected.
Sam's really hoping this resolves.
Either way, he loses the mana source.
You think if you're Luke, you have to daze this here? Yeah, I was going to say, do you have to daze it to try and make sure it stays alive?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he does that, and Sam does turn it into an elk. That Mox Diamond comes attacking in for 3.
Okay, so that actually does diminish Sam's mana considerably.
Yeah.
Although there's now an Oko on the board.
Yeah. Luke's going to be able to kill the Arbor. I mean, if he has an Abrupt Decay, Tarmogoyf's a decent start, but Sam does have Sword Splashers.
Right.
Yeah, Sam went from being in trouble for a turn to Oko.
Here, and he drew another Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, it's just chock full of stuff, which is what this deck is. It's just full of cards that there's a variety of cards that all kind of generate board presence.
All right, so Oko going to work again. Sam's in great shape here.
He very much is. He could even probably play this knight into a daze right here.
Yeah, and just be fine
not
with it.
sweat it. Yeah.
I think Luke has 2 cards left, and if one's daze, so what?
Yeah. I mean, with the Zenith to follow up, I like playing one of the 2 cards right now.
Yeah. Looks like maybe he's going for Once Upon a Time here. Yeah, he's going for Once Upon a Time. He can also find the combo here, right? I mean, he could find Dark Depths.
Yeah.
There's Savine's Reclamation. Gonna go for a.
So I mean, he brought in Savine's Reclamation and didn't take out Loam. Is it possible Rest in Peace didn't come in?
I think that's probably fair. We've seen a lot of his deck here.
Yeah,
and I assume that it just didn't come in. Maybe he thinks his graveyard cards are better than what Luke is doing.
That's possible.
All right, so Luke gonna use this Underground Sea and Brainstorm, hoping for a lot of help here. I mean, I don't even know what a lot of help looks like. It starts with Abrupt Decay for Oko, and then...
I mean, that's essential. And then at that point, he's got a fair amount of life now. Abrupt Decay plus a Thoughtseize would be something, but that's not what we have.
I wonder how big we can get a Tarmogoyf check here and see how big that is. Looks like there's a... Yeah.
I mean, with the Hierarch in play, we don't even have to Swords of Tomorrow if we don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we... Yeah, that's okay. So we're just going to elk it and then attack past it?
Yep, that seems good to me.
I mean, Oko, as typical, has infinite loyalty, so it doesn't. We don't care if the Tarmogoyf swims back at it.
It's only at 8, Joe. Only at 8. Here's a green sun for 3. Yeah, Sam's. This is the 4th time he's cast this green sun zenith. I mean, it's doing damage.
Yeah, for a knight, and that's a big knight.
Yeah.
Luke, congratulations on making top 8. I believe you will go no further.
Yeah, I think that's almost the end of the road here. As Sam comes attacking in for 4, thinks that Noble Hierarch again. And I mean, Sam's able to, even next turn, he's able to swap to get the Tarmogoyf out of the way if he wants.
Sure.
With Oko.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lock on it. Here comes a Brainstorm
More
again for Luke.
cantrips. Well, drawing cards is the greatest thing, right?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I don't know who they is, but that's what they say. All right, so Luke looking for some help. Don't know what that help is.
So I think we need
Again,
Toxic Deluge.
which doesn't not in his deck.
We need Slaughter. So we need Slaughter Pact for the Knight, Toxic Deluge for everything else, and we need to be able to kill the Yoko. So we're gonna need some Dark Rituals.
Yes.
And if we're that far along, then we may as well just
good.
have.
You
Boy.
can't cast that with those lands.
Oh.
Thanks to Bajuka Bog.
Yikes. So, and that's our only card? Are we even surviving this turn?
No, because he can. He can gain.
I mean, the
3.
Knight's then. Yeah, he's
That's
backing it up. That is
All right.
it. All right. Well, so Sam Black advances to the semifinals. Good for him.
Yeah. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam's deck performed. Like he played another one of these long games against these. Luke's deck looked like a control deck in Game 3, which I don't think is where he wants to be at all in this matchup. So Sam was able to take down Game 3 and Game number 2. Game number 2 was kind of a runaway with the Oko.
Yeah. The Game 1 went how Luke would draw it up.
Yeah.
And the other 2 games did not. He either didn't have early threats or Sam had swords or both. And then he didn't have a second threat, really. In Game 3, he didn't have any follow-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not great. He got his first threat was Swords to Plowshare, and then it kind of just was, he fatal pushed a couple things, and Sam was like, yeah, cool. Like,
he
that's
got housed
fine.
by Veil of Summer.
Yeah.
It was just 2-for-1s or just better cards.
Yeah. Just
for Sam's deck.
Green Sun Zenith over and over and over again was great. So let's take a look at our top 8 here, and we'll get you into our next match here shortly. So you just saw Sam Black getting the W over Luke Christensen over there with the Legacy was the choice here. So again, just how the top 8 works is the lower seed gets to pick the first format to veto, and then the higher seed gets to pick from the remaining 2 which format to play. So
I love this system.
It's very cool.
It's very cool.
It's very cool. So Sam was the lower seed, the 6, and he vetoed Pioneer as he didn't win a match yesterday. And then Luke said, you know what, let's play some Legacy. Looked like it started off well.
Yeah.
Didn't pan out that way. We also watched Grant Wozniak and Darren Shahinian. Darren vetoed Legacy, didn't want to play that matchup. And then Grant said, you know what, let's play my Death Shadow deck that has got Guru lands and all kinds of stuff. He's been playing a long time. Grant was able to pick up the W over Darren there. So 2 players into our top 4.
So that interesting to me, the Grant-Darren matchup, where both players were going to veto Legacy.
Yeah.
Which immediately just tells you if you're impartial, one of these players is wrong.
Yes.
Someone is
Someone's
wrong.
Yeah.
But the players just didn't want to take the risk, and so both players were. So in that case, the higher seed. Some of these pairings, the order of the vetoes isn't going to matter.
Yeah.
You're going to end up playing. If the order was reversed, they'd play the same third format anyway.
Yeah.
In this one, it might have actually been different because both players would have vetoed Legacy first.
Yeah, it's very strange. I think format familiarity for those players is what it came down to ultimately.
Sure.
On the other side of that left-hand bracket, we have Evan Gascoigne and Ray Huang. They're going to be our last match that gets played in our quarterfinals. But next, Brad and Wyatt are going to come back, and they're going to bring you Lewis Kaplan versus Matthew Hoey. And we'll see where they shake out who wants to ban what and then who chooses what. We talked about, the matchup overall, and it's pretty close.
Yeah, we'll let when Brad and White come in, they'll let them go over the matchups and lead you into the third quarterfinal.
Yeah, if you want to take a quick water break or whatever, make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram.
Social medias, really?
Yeah, social medias.
Is that plural?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll double check. We'll review the film.
All right.
So all these
Back in an hour from now, when the two of us are back in the booth, maybe we'll have an answer for you.
Yeah, we'll get it solved. We'll post it on one of our social media networks for you. Slash NRG series. You can also check us out at nerdragegaming.com if you want to check out the deck lists, the formats, awesome stuff going on there. So we'll be back here shortly for our third quarterfinal match, which is going to be Matt Hoey versus Lewis